Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Brandon here, aka Scourge of Vinyl. Today, I just want to give you a little recap of my experience at Destroying Texas Fest number 13. This took place in Houston, Texas at the BFE Rock Club. My first time to Houston, my first time to this fest, and I gotta say, I was completely blown away. I had so much fun. It exceeded my expectations in every way. It was 2 days plus the third day, the pre-fest on Thursday. So it was Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for me. And right off the bat, Thursday highlights. Without a doubt, the band to see on Thursday was Blood Incantation. I'm sure you all know about Blood Incantation right now, but believe me, the hype is real, and they justify it with their live performances. This is, I believe, the third time I've seen Blood Incantation, and they've gotten better with each time I've seen them. Impressive stage presence. They are able to replicate their sound perfectly live as to what they put on record, and it is just a sight to behold. It really is. If you like death metal and you like seeing live bands, you gotta see Blood Incantation, period. And also on tour with Blood Incantation was Crixquar from the UK. They were absolutely punishing live. Took them, I think, a little bit, like one or two songs to get into their groove, but once they kind of found that groove, it was just guns blazing. It was fucking awesome. And then highlighted by a couple bands from Texas, Imprecation and Blaspherian, Thursday nights. Both bands incredible, especially for me, Blaspherian. And I was standing next to Matt from Dark Descent Records while they were playing. He leaned over and said, "They're putting out a new album this year." I said, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's coming out on Dark Descent." I said, "Well, you better believe I'm paying for it." So, yeah, look forward to that. New Blaspherian coming in 2017. And then we get on to Friday and Saturday. I'm trying to do this all off the top of my head, so I'm going to forget a few bands here and there, but off the top of my head, Friday, the second band to play was Possession, and they, without a doubt, deserved a higher slot on this bill because all the way from Belgium, they fucking brought it. If you're not familiar with Possession, think of Blackened death metal style. Comparison-wise, nothing really comes to mind at first, but that's probably a good thing, considering that they're probably a little bit more original, and they don't seem to be gimmicky in the way that some sort of like occult death metal bands can be. The singer had some, I'm pretty sure it was like frozen blood because he was putting it on his face and he was slinging it into the crowd. And I was wearing a white shirt, so I got a little stain on my shirt, but it's a cool little memory to remember Possession set by. Niagtheblis, another highlight from Friday nights. Absolutely evil, dark, just absolutely ravaging sets. I mean, if you've heard their recordings, you know it's very noisy, very extreme, very harsh black metal. Live, whole different beast. I mean, they've got the hoods over their faces, just a very intimidating performance and a must-see live band. If you ever get the chance, do not miss Niagtheblis. And then headliners from Friday nights, Goat Semen and Communion. Communion all the way from Chile. Really rad to see them, a band that I never thought I would see. And Goat Semen, I was supposed to see. They were designated to play Hell's Head Bash one year. I forget if it was last summer or the year before, but they couldn't make it. And so they were the headliner for Friday night. And so for me, it was a little bit of gratification getting to see them now that, they're finally in the States. And then Saturday, by the time Saturday rolled around, I was exhausted. I took a plane out Thursday morning. I was at the show Thursday night. I was there all day Friday, and then by the time Saturday rolled around, I was a shell of a human being. But Catonic Cervix was the first band that I saw. It is so hard to describe this band. They're from Germany. They play death metal, but it is a very experimental, avant-garde style of death metal. I really can't find any band to compare them to because they are so unique sounding, and seeing them live was a treat. It really was, because I've never seen or heard a band quite like Catonic Cervix. So that was a great way to start the day. And then Saturday is kind of a blur for me, but I will get to the last three bands, which were Black Witchery, Cyanide, and Profanatica. Black Witchery, my second time seeing them. Really, really excited to see Black Witchery. Did not disappoint. As far as like active bestial style black metal bands, Black Witchery is right at the very top for me, and their performance was just haunting. Excellent set list, played all the stuff you'd want to hear. Opened with Darkness Attack. Wow. So their set was amazing. And then maybe the highlight of the entire festival for me was Cyanide. I got right up front. Cyanide for me is just the perfect death metal band. They play that old school style, nothing too flashy, nothing technical, just straight up brutality. Their set was amazing. The crowd was amazing. People were going absolutely nuts for Cyanide. There were a lot of great bands that played, but for me, it was all about Cyanide. And then I managed to grab a set list from Cyanide, which I don't really do very often. I don't really care, but their set was so amazing, and I saw it there, so I was like, give that shit to me. And I got their vocalist and bassist Mike Perun to sign it for me. Very awesome guy. And Profanatica, I gotta say, this was the third time I've seen Profanatica, and the second time that I have been let down. The first time I saw them being at Hell's Head Bash #2, and they were horrible. And that's not my opinion, that's by all accounts. Everyone who I've talked to that saw their set there said that they were absolutely trash. And then last summer, Hell's Head Bash #3, they were outstanding. One of my favorite sets of the whole weekend. And so this time around, coming off their performance I saw last summer, I was expecting a similar set, and I got something kind of in between. It was nothing spectacular, but it wasn't horrible. It was just kind of meh. So I could have done without it, but it's Profanatica, legendary black metal band from the U.S. So gotta pay my respects and stick around for Profanatica. And that's it as far as the bands go. And there were a lot of great labels in the house: Dark Descent, Iron Bonehead, Nuclear War Now, and I'll show you a few of the things that I got. First up is this tote bag that I use to carry around my records. Destroying Texas Fest. Got all the bands there. And then got all my records from the Iron Bonehead booth, because Dark Descent, I had a few things that I had already ordered that are going to be coming, that I had already purchased. and everything else I pretty much already had. I did buy a lot of CDs from there, but I'm not going to bother showing the CDs or like any of the patches or stuff that I got. I'm just going to show you a couple records, a couple shirts, and then call it a day here. And another one of those Black Funeral reissues. This one is the compilation of the first 2 Black Funeral demos here. We've got Journeys into Horizons Lost from 1994, and then Of Spells of Darkness and Death from 1995. Now that second demo from 1995 is basically reworkings of songs from 1994's Journeys into Horizons Lost demo. It says that right here in the gatefold. And this is just on black vinyl. All of the reissues were on black vinyl, all limited to 500 copies. So, saw it there, 15 bucks I think, so I jumped on that. I've got 3 out of the 4 Black Funeral records that were reissued. The 4th one, Moon of Karasith or something like that it's called. I've listened to it. It's not really my style. It's more of like a ambient kind of monotonous, not really for me. This one right here was a blind buy, just because I thought it looked cool as shit, and I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of this band. Unaussprechlichen Kulten. Yeah. It's German. It's the title of a fictitious book written by H.P. Lovecraft. The book does not exist. It is fictional. But that's the title of it. And that's the title of this band. And the title of the record is Baphomet Pan Shub Nagurath. So yeah, between the title, which I knew to be a work of H.P. Lovecraft, and then the album name, and then this fucking goat creature with a, you know, it's got tits, it's got a dick, it's got naked dead chicks and old chicks around it. I mean, fucking A, am I right? Released by Iron Bonehead. Naturally got it at the Iron Bonehead booth. And I've spun it a couple times, and it's really good. It sounds like old Incantation, like the first couple Incantation records. And I mean, there's so many bands nowadays that you can say sound like Incantation, but that's not necessarily a bad thing to me. I would rather have 1,000 Incantation clones than a fucking 1,000 stupid tech death bands just noodling away. You know, I really go for that kind of dark and hideous type shit. So as far as I'm concerned, keep on churning them out. You know, whichever one of you bands want to keep ripping off Incantation, keep doing it. I'll keep listening. And then, again, one of my favorite sets of the weekend was Possession. So this is their first, it's not really a full length. It's only 4 songs and 2 covers. And this is a reissue copy. It's called His Best Deceit. It has a cover of Necromancer by Sepultura, and then a cover of Christ Passion by Sodom. And this just black vinyl. It's pretty good. I honestly think that their best material is their newest album, Exerkaizen, which I already have. So I've showed that off before, I believe. So that's the records that I got. And then a couple shirts. I got yet another Blood Incantation shirt. I already have this design. I'm pretty sure I already have it as a long sleeve as well. It's got the logo on the sleeves. But this one has the Western Abominations tour dates on the back. So I wanted to get something from Blood Incantation, despite, you know, having pretty much every design that they've put out. But yeah, gotta get that long sleeve action going. And then Destroying Texas Fest had a whole bunch of shirts of bands that were playing the fest that all had this on the back with the dates and all the bands playing. And then this one was for Nyagfiblas, because again, totally blown away by their set. It says Texas Terror on the sides right there. So they were phenomenal. Had to grab a shirt. And that's it. That's my little review of Destroying Texas Fest. They've already started announcing bands for next year. You can follow Destroying Texas Fest on Instagram or their Facebook page. If you live in the Houston area, you have no excuse. You have to go to this fest. I mean, we'll see if I go again next year, because it was kind of a big undertaking to get on a plane, book a hotel, rent a car. But it was 110% worth it. So we'll see if I do it again next year. But thanks for checking out this video, seeing my opinion on the fest. And as always, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until the next time, take care.